You love each other, but the closeness, it isn't quite there. You're partners, but maybe not quite feeling like teammates who have one another's back. You're not breaking up, but you are not lighting each other up either. So, this episode today is for that moment. You're listening to the Better Relationships After Baby podcast, where I believe things can actually be better than ever after having kids. But it takes intentional conversation, personal growth, and community to get there. I'm Chelsea Skaggs, life and relationship coach, fellow mom and wife, and lover of taboo topics. I'm here to give you insight, practical tools, and conversations to help your relationships survive and thrive through the big changes of parenthood. Let's get into today's episode. Hey friend, let's talk about the moment in your relationship when you realize you're not fighting, but you're not thriving either. You're in for another episode of the Better Relationships After Baby podcast, and I am so happy to be with you today. I am loving the warmer weather, the sunshine, me being out of the house more, the kids being out of the house more, and I hope that wherever you are enjoying the emergence of spring as well. So this is a question that I get often when I tell people about what I do. I'm asked, how is this different than therapy? So I want to get into that a little bit today. Those of you who know my story might remember that I actually went to school for psychology and sociology. I was accepted into a program for marriage and family therapy. And when I was going through the information and preparing, I got very just unsettled because I did not jive very well with the DSM. And at the time, personally, most of what I knew was talk therapy, and nothing at all wrong with talk therapy. I am a fan. I send people to talk therapy. It is a tool for a lot of people. But for me, that was not what I wanted to do forever. And so I took a windy path through social work and education and landed into this space where I take the life coaching approach. So it's important to me to be able to discuss and share how these things are different and how you can figure out what is appropriate for you, because there is an appropriate time for therapy. There is an appropriate time for coaching. Sometimes there's an appropriate time for them to be working in tandem together. That has happened with some of my clients. And I wanted to hopefully use this episode to give you a clearer understanding so that you know exactly when it would make sense to work with me or not work with me. And you're able to convey that to friends or family or loved ones that you are sharing to, as well as they navigate their own relationship. So let's start by painting the picture, okay? You're doing the things, right? I know this about you. I see you, baby. I love you. I admire you. Like, you're doing the things. Maybe raising babies or getting very close to raising babies, maybe working demanding jobs, maybe keeping more glass balls in the air than you can even imagine. But there is this sense that something has shifted in your relationship, okay? You love each other, but the closeness, it isn't quite there. You're partners, but maybe not quite feeling like teammates who have one another's back. And you're not breaking up, but you are not lighting each other up either. So this episode today is for that moment. We're going to talk about why coaching isn't therapy, what makes my approach to relationship coaching different, why waiting until things feel broken isn't going to serve you, and the future we're building for ourselves and our kids when we choose to reconnect. So grab your tea or whatever is in your tumbler today, and let's get in. So most of the time, the couples I work with are not on the brink of divorce. They're not in weekly screaming matches. They're fine. Fine. If you're just listening, I've got my little quote fingers up. They're fine, but they're not where they want to be. And here's what that might look like. Maybe the conversations that feel more like logistics all the time than ever any conversations that feel like connection. Maybe it looks like feeling like roommates instead of lovers who chose to do life together and forego all the other options or fish in the sea. Maybe it is one of you withdrawing while the other pushes in harder. Maybe it's snapping at each other over dumb stuff because there is unspoken resentment underneath. Maybe it's that growing silence. So it's not loud, but it's heavy. This drift happens to most couples that I know. We know that at least 2/3 of couples report feeling marital dissatisfaction or less marital satisfaction in the first year after having a baby. This drift happens. So much changes in a short time, and that can build even years and years after having your baby, your children, if it's not addressed. It's sneaky. It's the sneaky, what should I call it? I'm going to call it the sneaky D. And I don't mean that sexually this time. I mean the sneaky D for disconnect. That probably came to mind because my daughter is a kindergartner, and in learning to read, they talk about the sneaky E, the E at the end of the sentence that makes the other vowel say its name. So I'm going to call this, in a non-sexual way, the sneaky D, the sneaky disconnect. This does not happen because you're bad at love. You're not bad at love, okay? I know there's that one song, I'm bad at love, ooh, ooh. Send me that song, please, if you remember what it is, because I might forget to even look it up. But that's not you, okay? You're not bad at love. You can sing that song with soul and sass because it's fun to do, but that is not talking about you. So it's not sneaky because you're bad at love. It happens because life is loud and we don't always have the tools to maintain connection in the chaos. I had a couple who came to me, and it was really interesting because they reached out, but then when I'm talking with them, they're like, oh, well, this is fine. Well, it's fine. I mean, we're fine. I mean, it's fine. And finally, I had to interrupt and be like, can we talk about this word? Like, can we talk about what fine is? And when you said I do to this person, did you just think I want it to just be fine? I mean, as long as it's just fine forever. When you procreated with this human, did you say, I want to give our kids a just fine kind of life? When you were watching Disney movies as a little girl or a little boy, whatever, and you were dreaming of your love story, did you just sit there and daydream and say, oh, I hope I have a love story that's just fine. I hope it's fine. Probably not, friend. Okay, so we talked with this couple about what that word meant, and it was just a placeholder because they did not know how to describe how they were really doing. They didn't want people to think that they were trying to break up, get a divorce, that they didn't love each other anymore, but they weren't quite sure how to talk about how seriously far they drifted apart and how much they felt like strangers without, their friends or family getting worried about them. So they were just keeping it in and everything was just fine. And luckily, we got to piece that out. We got to play with the word fine, and we got to figure out what really wasn't fine or what they wanted more for themselves beyond just the survival of their relationship. And I don't know about you, but if I'm going to have one wild life, I want to have one good, wild love. And I don't think I have time to waste, right? Like today, right now, these days, these moments are when we create that for ourselves, because I'm a romantic at heart and I want to feel those sparks and that love continuously, as many moments as humanly possible in the years that I have. And so why not make that a priority? Okay, so let's get back on track here with how coaching is different than therapy. So this comes up a lot. People might say, we're not in crisis, so therapy feels like an overkill. Or we've done therapy before, but we didn't get tools. It just felt like a venting session. This is one that I have heard from men more frequently. Here's the truth. As I said, therapy and coaching both have their place, but coaching, especially the way I do it, is about movement. So while therapy can look back, it can explore the past, your trauma, your patterns. Coaching, those things may inform a little bit, but we're not digging into them. In coaching, we're looking forward. We're saying, where are we now? Where do we want to be? And what is in the way? And specifically, what I provide is relationship blueprint coaching, where we're not just rehashing fights, we're not just decoding your childhood. We are mapping out a shared vision. We are naming the hidden resentment. We are creating actionable ways to shift your communication, your intimacy, your partnership. We are building something strong in your relationship on purpose. So this is not reactive, it's intentional. So let me tell you what sets this apart. I don't take a cookie cutter approach. And if you know me, that's probably not surprising that I don't like to stay in the lines. Okay. It's a little cookie cutter is not for me. But what I mean by that is your relationship is not cookie cutter and it should not be cookie cutter. And you don't want it to be cookie cutter. So we're not just going to say, well, you should talk nicer or you should go on more dates. You've heard that shit before and it didn't stick. Okay, that shit didn't stick for me. That's why I had to find and create and now teach a different way. What we're doing in relationship blueprint coaching is layered. Okay, here's what it looks like. We rotate between solo and couple sessions because you each need space to process and grow. And also, you need support to bring those together and unite your individuality as a team. We use Voxer, which is a voice or text app, back and forth in between sessions. So when things come up on a Wednesday night, you don't have to wait until our Monday appointment to get some feedback and some ideas and to process through that. We use real tools you can pull out in the moment. I'm talking communication scripts, intimacy maps, task division clarity, conflict repair strategies. Like these tools are here and we're going to use them together. I'm not just going to throw it at you or say, hey, go Google this, because this is what I do day in and day out. And I have these available and it can help make them catered to you and what you need. And you walk away from our time together with a relationship blueprint. So what this is a personalized guide that you can return to when life gets messy again, because it will. And what's the point of investing time and money and energy into support if you don't also have ways to rebuild and return to the takeaways you had? So I'm going to put those things together for you to create your blueprint individually and as a couple for you to use as a reference guide in the future. This is coaching that works in the real world with kids climbing on you, jobs changing, and a partner you still want to choose. So I do all of my coaching right now virtually, and I have because I started my business just 2 months before COVID hit. So I've always done my work virtually. And as much as I love being in person with people, I really appreciate how virtual coaching allows us to not be prohibited by covering a babysitter and having an extra hour to drive back and forth. Like, no, I get to be in your home with you. I get to help you steal away some time, work together with your partner so that you can both have your individual sessions, have our time together. Kids might cry in the background. That's okay. This is the real world. And I do not think you need to get into this perfect place in order to show up and do the work. That would be really silly to expect everything to be perfect and look elegant and lovely from the outside in order for you to show up for coaching support. Don't hide your mess, okay? You're never going to get through it if you're just hiding it. So we're not here to do that. We're here to show up and make it easy for you to show up and do what you need to do to have the foundation of your relationship that you want. So for the men who are doing the work, maybe you are a woman listening to this, share it with your partner. Maybe you are a man listening to this, welcome. Please listen to more episodes. It's not just for moms. I need to say this. The men who are in it, really doing the work, I see you. My hope in humanity has truly been restored over the last few months because of the quality of men that I have been able to see. These are men who want to unlearn and learn, men who want to listen, men who want to be emotionally intelligent and connected with their partners and their children. You weren't handed great blueprints for how to lead with emotion, how to talk about resentment, or how to partner without the power plays that you've been modeled so many years. You were told to suck it up, push it down, keep things together. But if you're here leaning in, choosing growth, it's not because you're weak. It's because you are strong enough, and many men aren't, to unlearn what doesn't serve your relationship anymore. It is one of the most beautiful things to start to see the toxic masculinity come down or be less prominent. Or maybe it's just being in spaces where I see less of it. And this is really true for the men who just say, I'm going to do work in and on myself and in and on my relationship. I'm going to put my ego aside. I'm not going to be mad that my wife reached out and said that she wanted to do something that got us over a hump or got us to the next level. I'm going to love that. I'm going to love that she wants our love story to be this strong and beautiful. I love that I am man enough. I don't even like that phrase, but it's one that we have to work with. Like, I am man enough to be part of change starting in my own home. And that's huge. That matters. And it is what is shaping your kids. It shapes what your kids will expect, accept, and mirror one day. And I don't think there's anything sexier or stronger than a dad who wants to step in and be present and give his children a very beautiful picture of what to expect, accept, and mirror one day in their lives. So that makes me think about how much our kids are watching, right? If we zoom out, when you invest in your relationship, you're not just fixing arguments or splitting up chores better, you're modeling something bigger, starting in your home and having a tremendous ripple effect. Okay. Our kids are watching how we speak to each other, how we ask for help, how we say, I'm sorry, how we navigate tension, if we choose repair over ego. And one day they're going to grow up and build relationships of their own. And I don't know about you, but I want my kids to know love can be honest, partnership can be equal, growth can be mutual. And when you work on it yourself, you get to give them the blueprint, the norm in their minds and their hearts. So let's make it one that empowers them and not one that they'll have to heal from. If you take nothing else from this week's episode, please hear me with this. You don't have to wait until you're falling apart to get support. In fact, the best time to get support is the moment you start to feel yourself drifting. Before you start keeping score, before you build separate lives under one roof, before the silence gets too loud. And as soon as you notice that, maybe you're noticing those little things happening, then maybe yesterday was the best time, but today is the next best time. So let's still be good with that. Getting coaching doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're choosing each other with intention and tools and heart. So before I wrap up, I just want to paint a picture of what I see for you. I see a partnership where communication feels safe and clear. I see a bedroom that feels alive again, not like one more item on the to-do list. I see a rhythm of checking in with each other, not just coordinating pickups and drop-offs. I see more shared laughter. I see real honesty and tears and hugs and delicate moments. I see softness where there used to be sharpness with each other. And a deep, grounded, I've got you, babe, between two people doing this wild, messy life together. And I don't think that's wishful thinking. I think that is something truly waiting for you on the other side of this work. So if you've been wondering if your relationship needs help, if you're craving more closeness, more understanding, more support, if you're ready to lead your family with more love and less burnout, let's talk. I am doing an enrollment period right now for Relationship Blueprint Coaching. It is open now. You can book a free meet and greet call, which is no pressure. You're not committing to anything, just clarity. And I actually don't let anyone buy any coaching from me without a connection call and a meet and greet, because I want to make sure that I can deliver my promise to you. I'm not going to take you on as a client if I don't believe that I can deliver my promise to you. And I want to make sure that you feel good and confident in me and the work that I will be providing for you. So that's always the first step. And again, it's not an obligation, it's just a clarity call where we see, is this a good fit? We'll talk about what's working, what's not, and whether coaching can get you there. And if not, we're going to find a different way. And it's just beautiful to be connecting. You can find the link in the caption or show notes of today's episode, or you can find me on social media or shoot me an email with the word coaching, and I will send over all of that information. So you are not behind. You are not broken. You are just ready. And I am here to walk this with you. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be so grateful if you take a minute to help spread the word. As a small business owner, shares and reviews go a long way. So share this episode with a friend, share it on your social media, and please leave a review if you haven't done so. This helps these messages get to more mamas, and you guys, that's how we change the world.